Hi there. I hope you enjoyed the bonus episode earlier this week from Big Emotions, Kids Listen Mashups About Feelings. Here's part 2 of the episode on jealousy and openness. Look for Kids Listen on your favorite podcast app to find more Mashups episodes. The next episode of Kids Ask Dr. Friendtastic will come out on Saturday. Welcome back to part 2 of our journey through jealousy and openness. In part 1, we explored how jealousy can show up when we're worried about losing someone's attention to another person, and how envy can sneak in when we compare ourselves to others. We also explored the differences between these two emotions and noted that they can sometimes be confused with one another. In part 2, we're going to lean into the opposites of those tricky emotions: openness and contentment. These feelings invite us to try new things, connect with the world around us, and appreciate what we already have. We often have more than one feeling at the same time. Positive feelings don't erase painful feelings, but they can balance or soften them. So get comfy, settle in, and let's keep exploring together.
Emotions.
We'll start with a taste of openness, literally. Chop Chop is a fun, food-focused podcast where hosts Harry and Sally encourage kids and families to explore cooking and eating meals together. In this episode, they get curious about some interesting and surprising foods. Think you're open to trying something new?
So now, for a little bit more about us. The first time that I remember thinking about food was when I was about 10 years old, and I caught a fish and I cooked it by myself. And I was so proud, and I remember that feeling of being able to make food for myself and how delicious it was and how great I felt. Sally, what kind of things did you eat as a kid?
To be honest, I wasn't much of an eater, although I loved to cook.
Sure.
My parents told me that the only time I really ate real amounts was when we went to our local deli, which I now find pretty surprising.
When I was a kid, I never liked licorice, but now I love fennel. In fact, I have it growing in my garden, and I love the flavor of anise. Sally, is there anything that you liked as a kid that you don't like now, or vice versa?
Well, I will say I loved licorice as a kid. I love fennel, and I love anise now. But I hated meatballs then, and I hate them now.
Huh. Do you remember the book Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs?
I sure do.
When I was reading it to my son Frank a few years ago, I turned the page and it shows people looking nauseous surrounded by piles and piles of sandwiches. And it says, "Lunch one day brought 15-inch drifts of cream cheese and jelly sandwiches. Everyone ate themselves sick and the day ended with a stomachache." Well, while reading this, I realized that as a kid, I always said I didn't like cream cheese and jelly sandwiches when they were offered to me. And I believe that I didn't actually think that they were gross, but it was because of this book and the illustration on that page.
Harry, I think the moral of the story is that when it comes to eating and trying new foods, forget everything bad you've ever heard, or in your case, seen. Open your mind and then open your mouth.
I agree. I think you should always try everything at least once, even if you think you might not like it.
Cream cheese and jelly sandwiches? Or maybe even black licorice? Being open doesn't mean you have to like everything you try. It just means you're willing to give it a chance. Trying new foods is one way to practice openness in everyday life. You're stepping out of your comfort zone, opening your mind, and letting yourself be surprised. Remember, even if it's not your favorite, you've already done something brave just by giving it a go. Being open isn't only about food. It's a mindset. You can use it in so many parts of your life, from meeting new people to exploring new ideas, or even trusting your friends enough to let them have other friends. That brings us to Wondrous, created by our very own Mashups producer, Tal Kelly. inviting you to explore new places.
We learned about the history and how the four main cultures,
the Mayan, the Mestizo, the Garifuna, and the Creole.
came to Belize, but what culture did they bring in with them?
The Mayan?
The Mayans.
The Mayans used music to accompany funerals, celebrations, and many rituals.
Archaeologists have discovered paintings and carvings that depict music in Maya culture.
They've also uncovered instruments like trumpets, flutes, whistles, and drums.
For the Mestizo, you would find more maramba. So the Mestizo, of course, are tied into the Spanish.
There's actually a lot of blending of the cultures that comes out in Belizean music.
You might hear traditional Mayan flute and drums alongside traditional Spanish instruments like violin or guitar. And of course, the marimba.
Also, as you may or may not know, the marimba is both an instrument and a type of music. It's similar to a xylophone. It has wooden bars that are struck by mallets, but it has a lower range.
The marimba is prominent in South America, but it originated in Africa.
A lot of blending. Another musical style that comes from the northern region,
where mestizos and Maya are abundant,
is cumbia. Cumbia!
Garifuna, they love music. Their main music would be like the paranda, and the most famous one is the punta. One of their main instruments is the drums.
We're very lucky to hear from Warren Martinez, the lead drummer for the La Beja Drumming Center, Hopkins, Belize.
Man, I was born for the culture, I was born at the school. You see that school right there? I used to come by, but the guy would say, oh, no, don't hit on my drum, because I was always pakapa. But I know I wasn't good. Always trying. So I continue. I'm playing drums for 17 years now, man. I started from when I was 6 years old. And from when everyone come and say, wow, you good. I was getting good. They picked me as chosen one, number one drummer of Belize.
Lastly, the Creole.
For the Creole, our music is known as the breakdown.
When Belize gal the out, then the out we dance the time away.
The term "bruckdown" comes from the words break down. Like the name, the music features a broken or syncopated beat that is typical of Caribbean and African musical influences.
Syncopated rhythms are displaced beats or accents, so that the strong beats are weak, and vice versa.
It ties in perfectly with our language, which is a patois, which is a broken English. Now we would use instruments like the turtle shell or the conch shell.
They also use all sorts of bells, like cowbells, as well as a donkey's jawbone that they play by running a stick up and down the teeth.
Both Garifuna and Creole, they use some of those instruments.
Like the accordion and guitar.
A grater, a shaka.
And the banjo.
To create their distinguished sounds. But they love their music. They definitely love their music.
Sort of feels like we traveled in time first and then arrived at today through music.
Wow, so much openness in that clip. From listening to different music, to trying local foods, to venturing into places filled with new sights and sounds. Wondrous shows us that being open to new experiences helps us grow. Openness doesn't mean you won't feel nervous or unsure sometimes. But when you say yes to discovery, you give yourself a chance to learn, connect, and create amazing memories. Speaking of tuning in to new things, have you ever noticed how your body feels when you're holding on to a big emotion? Maybe your shoulders are tight, or your jaw is clenched, or your heart is racing. That's where mindfulness can help. Our next clip comes from Peace Out, a calming podcast that teaches mindfulness, movement, and emotional awareness. In this clip, kids are guided through an exercise in gratitude and relaxation, helping them let go of tension and tune in to their inner world.
One really good way to help get over that feeling of jealousy is to focus on gratitude. We've talked about gratitude before. It means being grateful or thankful for what you already have. Gratitude can help us get jealous thoughts out of our heads because thinking of all the different things that are good in our lives fills our minds and pushes those jealous thoughts out. With your hands on your knees, start to squeeze them into a fist. Squeeze harder now, feeling your arms and hands getting tenser and tighter. Let's pretend these are jealous feelings. Squeeze even harder now, maybe feeling your fingernails pressing against your palms. Now when I count to 3, release your fists. 1, 2, 3. Let your hands and arms relax and feel them gently melt. The tension and tightness is leaving. Let's try that again. Make those fists again and squeeze tightly. Tighter. And now on the count of 3, release them. 1, 2, 3. Let your hands and arms rest and relax. Before we go, let's all think of at least one thing we're grateful for right now. It could be a person, or a thing, or a pet, or something that we can do really well. What are you grateful for today? Kala and Chuff are going to start making their way up the mountain through the rhododendron or fire path. Next time, Kala is going to start really missing her mom and have to deal with the feeling of sadness. Until then, peace out and peace within.
Did you try that? It's amazing what a few deep breaths and stretches can do. When we let go of tension, we make space for other emotions to come in, like gratitude or calm. This kind of openness helps us notice how we're feeling instead of getting swept away by it. We've talked a lot about the opposite of jealousy, openness. But what about envy? What's the feeling that can help balance that? That brings us back to contentment, that quiet, steady feeling that fills you up from the inside. It's not flashy or loud, but it's powerful. It's that cozy, peaceful sense of, I'm okay, right here, right now. We hope this last stop on our journey helps you feel calm and cozy, and maybe even ready for bed. Koala Tots is a super sweet podcast that helps kids like you relax and wind down before sleep. Every episode has gentle rhymes, soft sounds, and bedtime stories read by Abby Ofer. And if you're ever having a tricky night, listening to a relaxing bedtime story can help you let go of worries or difficult feelings like envy, making it easier to drift off to sleep. In this clip, Abby reads a cozy rhyme about Granny's kitchen. As you listen, imagine the warm cookies and cakes, the delicious smells, and the loving feeling of being with Grandma. That's true contentment right there.
A table with a checkered cloth, a comfy settee, teacups and saucers, and blankets for knees. A window with curtains, letting in a gentle sunbeam. Grandma's kitchen, a storybook dream. A cat named Pudding Paws with fur so divine, curled on a cushion in the warm sunshine, purring and dreaming with whiskers like twine. A furry companion for the children, oh, so fine. Harry and Chloe, with giggles in their eyes, spotted Pudding Paws, a playful surprise. Little hands reached out for their kitty friend, stroking their fur like there was no end. And as the cookies emerged, golden and neat, Pudding Paws jumped up, finding a cozy seat. On the kitchen counter, good enough to eat, the smell of baked goods was, oh, so sweet. The cupcakes were also ready, a tempting treat. Children helped tidy the kitchen to make it all neat. Seated around the table, a well-known routine, as they indulged in the treats, their favourite cuisine. Sips of tea between bites, a comforting drink. Laughter echoed until their faces became pink. Treats disappeared, not a single morsel remaining. The children had enjoyed their baking training. Little Pudding Paws, the kitten, suddenly was keen, taking a tiny nibble of cupcake, a greedy cat's dream. Tiny paws danced on the kitchen floor as Pudding Paws explored, seeking treats galore. Cupcakes and cookies, a delight to adore. In Grandma Pattycake's kitchen, there was always something yummy in store. As the sun went down, it was time for the little baker's bed. They were tired and ready to rest their weary heads. With tummies full, their dreams took flight. In the realm of sleep, a magical sight. Grandma Pattycake in the dim bedroom light whispered, "Sweet dreams, my dears. Sleep tight."
Wasn't that lovely? You could almost smell the cookies and feel the soft, safe hug of that kitchen. Contentment isn't about getting everything you want. It's about appreciating the simple, meaningful things already in your life. That might be time with someone you love, a pet cuddled up next to you, or just a moment of quiet all to yourself. So, as we end this episode, take a moment to breathe in and out. Let yourself notice how you're feeling. Maybe there's a little jealousy or envy still hanging around, and that's okay. But maybe there's also a flicker of gratitude, curiosity, or contentment. Feelings come and go. We don't have to be afraid of them. We can sit with them, watch them, and learn from them, even the tricky ones. Now, let's take a moment to turn our attention inward for a special activity where we'll explore our own experiences through a bit of self-discovery. Being mindful means noticing our thoughts and feelings without judging them. All feelings, even the unpleasant ones like jealousy and envy, give us information about ourselves and what's happening around us. when we can notice our feelings without avoiding them or being pushed around by them, we're better able to understand and cope with them. To wind up this episode, we're going to do a simple mindful eating activity with an M&M or raisin. We'll take a few moments to really notice it using all our senses. You can find the full, more detailed guidance for this mindful eating in our show notes. If you're in the classroom, I bet your teacher might be getting ready to hand these out. If you're in the car, pull over at the next stop for a small bag of M&Ms or raisins and challenge yourself to experience just one. It's natural to want more, but for this special activity, the key is to focus on only one. First, take it in your hand and just look at it. What do you notice about its shape, size, and color? Bring it close to your nose. What do you smell? Without biting it, place it in your mouth and hold it. You may want to move it around with your tongue. What do you notice about the initial taste and feeling of it in your mouth? Now bite down on it. What do you feel and taste? Continue to chew on it slowly. Then swallow it when it feels right. What do you notice as you finish eating it? The point of this exercise is to slow down and fully engage our senses with a single small experience. By doing this, we can notice details we might otherwise miss and cultivate a greater sense of presence and appreciation for even the simplest things. After you've experienced your mindful moment, take that same gentle awareness with you as you move through your day. What an incredible journey we've taken through jealousy, envy, openness, and contentment. We've seen how these emotions can feel tricky or even overwhelming at times, but we've also learned how they can point us toward what really matters to us. From Maya learning to share her friend, to Effervescence feeling left out of a party, to Max finding gratitude for his gray scarf, to Chop Chop and Wanderers who show us how to be open to new foods and cultures, and to the peaceful meditation and that dreamy moment in Granny's kitchen. Each clip reminded us that our feelings, no matter how big, are here to guide us, not control us. The next time you feel jealous or envious, remember, these feelings aren't bad. They're just signals. They might be showing you what you care about or hope for. And when you accept these feelings and also see them within a wider perspective that includes openness, gratitude, and contentment, you'll find ways to grow, connect, and feel more at peace. We'll be back Tuesday with our next episode, diving into anger and forgiveness, two powerful emotions that can help us heal, stand up for ourselves, and understand others more deeply. Thanks so much for listening and being part of this special Kids Listen mashup. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and remember, big emotions aren't something to fear. They're something to feel. This episode has been a Kids Listen collaboration created by Tal Kelly, Jenna Clark, and me, Dr. Eileen Kennedy Moore, and hosted by me, Dr. Friendtastic. This Big Emotions Kids Listen mashups about feelings is produced by Tal Kelly. Executive writer, Jenna Clark, content director at Sleepiest and Koala Kids. In consultation with me, Eileen Kennedy Moore, PhD, an author and clinical psychologist based in Princeton, New Jersey. Our intro music was created and generously provided by the wonderful Dan Sachs of Noodledolf. You can find full music credits in the show notes. A special thanks goes out to all of our contributors. We placed links to our featured podcasts in this episode's show notes. A powerful way to express emotions is through art. If you'd like to share your artwork, email a photo to kidslistenmashups@gmail.com and we'll proudly share it on social media. Educators interested in applying this as an SEL resource in their classroom can find a PDF guide in the show notes. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a nice review or share the show with someone you love. Thanks for tuning in to your emotions as well as our mashup.